All right, welcome to this month's book review. And this month we're doing this one over here, this one, Song of the Dark Man by Darragh Mason. And let's get into it. All right, so Song of the Dark Man, Darragh Mason. Let's begin with actually let's go to Amazon and have a look at let's just do that. There we go. Okay. All right, over to Amazon. I just want to go through some reviews first. There aren't many on Amazon for this book. It is, in my opinion, I think it was a great book. It's a very interesting book if you're interested in the Dark. Let's first have a look at what the Dark Man is. So it is Song of the Dark Man, Father of Witches, Lord of the Crossroads. So when we talk about the Dark Man, we are talking about a variety of different gods that pop up in different cultures all over the world, all throughout history. I often refer to the devil, and this is very much the same thing. When we talk about the dark man, it could be the dark man on or even sometimes called the black man on the bridge, which kind of like if you're passing from between worlds, you sometimes, depending on tradition, depending on culture, depending on which path you're actually following, you could come up against this bridge where you meet a dark man or a black dog or something like this, and you're given a riddle and you have to answer the riddle to pass over the bridge. There is the devil in this aspect is the dark man, the Lord of the Crossroads, Father of Witches, which would be the devil, the witch father, etc., etc., etc. So when we're talking about the dark man, it's this aspect of the horn god, the god that kind of sort of pops up here, there, and everywhere. Just have a look at the explanation quickly. Explains the dark man phenomenon through centuries-old folklore, mythology, testimony from British witch trials, and on accounts challenges the simplistic concept of the devil as evil, explaining how encounters with this entity can reveal one's life purpose and how the dark man can be an initiator into witchcraft. Presents interviews with those who have witnessed the dark man firsthand, offering insights into how he can serve as a guide or to a more positive life. From the Fortean phantoms that terrorise Victorian England to the haunted crossroads of the Irish hinterlands, the devil, also known as the Dark Man, has found countless novel ways to influence culture and bring us face to face with our fears, etc., etc. So, what you'll find in this book, actually, no, sorry, before I get there, I wanted to do the reviews first. Quite a bit on the Amazon page. There's various reviews from editorial reviews which were put into the book itself. This is from Aidan Watchter. There is reviews from Phil Hine, from all of these very big names. Although a lot of these names I don't really recognize myself. To be honest with you, the Modern Merlin from paganpages.org. Yeah, so you got those editorial reviews. Then we get to the reviews of the actual readers. Now, as I said, there aren't many. We can go to the one-star review. There's not actually a review. I think it was just somebody who just gave it a 1 star and didn't bother to say anything. The same with the 3-star reviews. So these are completely useless. And I think same with the 4-star reviews. Yep, same thing. And so therefore we have to rely on the 5-star reviews. Obviously they're going to be really good reviews. But there are only 2 of them out of 18 total ratings. There are only 2 reviews. Obviously these are going to be great reviews. So there is that to bear in mind. But as I said, I really, really enjoyed this book. Let me just go back over to the book itself. Here we go. All right. So the first part of this book, let me just see if it's actually outlined here. Yes, part 1, Folklore and Witchcraft. So that is going into the witch trial, the records of the witch trials and things like that, discussing various mythologies, legends, where the dark man, the devil, etc., has cropped up throughout history, and these various. There's a lot more than is actually presented here. There's a hell of a lot more, but this is just some of the legends that the author decided to choose to pick, and they're great ones. They're absolutely fantastic ones. I think what you may find is if you have read through various accounts, people have been writing a lot about the records of the witch trials and such things lately, over the past several years. What you'll find is there are some in here which you may not have come across, which I thought was quite good. And I think it gives you a bit more history of the devil himself. Then the second part goes into the witnesses. So this is various people that the author has interviewed. Megan Rose actually wrote the book about what was it called? Spirit marriage. I've forgotten the term for it now. Um, Hang on, give me a second. Oh, sorry, God spousing. There we go. I can't remember the name of the book exactly now, but it's probably actually listed here. Let me just have a look. Let's see, Megan Rose. She's a psychologist with PhD in psychology from the California Institute of Integral Studies and an MA in religion from the Graduate Theological Union. Let's have a look. She wrote, there we go, Spirit Marriage, Intimate Relations with Underworldly Beings. I thought that was an excellent book. I really enjoyed that book. And again, it's one of those books that actually has various interviews from different practitioners. So it gives you kind of gives you a perspective on spirit marriages or God spousing from a variety of different traditions and religions and everything else, which is I love that. I think it's fantastic. Why I actually like this book, I think, because it's interviewing different people from different walks of life, but actual practitioners who have experienced this, and their own personal experience of the Dark Man and the Initiator, in their own life and their own personal practice and what that was like. It also interviews Orion Foxwood, who was interviewed by Megan Rose, if I remember correctly. Now, there was one which I found interesting. I previously spoke on Demon of the Week about Master Leonard, and a bit of an anomaly when it comes to these spirits because it is an old French spirit, but it is very much that representation. If you read the old witch trial records, it's very much a representation of what the witches were speaking about with the devil the devil in the forest. They would go take their journeys on the Sabbats to the forest, and they would, kiss the feet or behind or have sex with this devil figure. And when you interact with Master Leonard, it's very much that kind of embodying or personifying that particular imagery. And I never knew this existed until I read this book. David Beth was born and raised in Africa and lived all over the world in service of the mysteries. He was initiated as a priest of Haitian voodoo, Hungan Sogwe, I think I'm saying that correctly, in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and is the presiding heresiarch of the Leonard Society, a witchcraft devoted to Tellurian and Chthonic mysteries operating within the metacurrent of the cosmic gnosis. David was also the co-founder of esoteric press Theon Publishing. I have heard of that. I think I've read some books from them, and has lectured and published his writings internationally. In this interview, David offers us his insight into the deeper nature of the entity known as Master Leonard, who is also known as Le Grand Negre, or the Black Man. So, if you're interested in that particular figure of Master Leonard, you would probably want to read this because, but I did not know there was this thing called the Leonard Society. So that was quite interesting to me. And if you go looking for the Leonard Society, I did do a brief Google search. you ain't going to find it. So this becomes very interesting read. Just want to see if there's anybody else who pops out. This Hearing His Song is actually the author's um, experience with the black or the dark man or the black man. But yeah, no, really a really interesting book, and from a historical perspective, and also, from a personal perspective. And I think that really, really brings it home, is that personal touch to it, because yes, we can read all about the historical facts and the experiences that witches in the past had through the records and things like that. But they only go back so far. But I think what's more important is the experiences that modern witches and modern practitioners are actually having. It's something we can more closely relate to in our own experiences that we may have and can't explain ourselves. So when we read these accounts of modern witches actually having these experiences, we can usually relate our own, um, um, the things that have been happening to us. We can usually relate a lot more closely to that, and I think that becomes very important. So yeah, this is a fantastic book. Absolutely loved it. Let me just go back over to the screen. Where's the screen? Here we go. There we go. All right. Um, so I'm obviously, as always, I will be putting a link in the top here and also down below in the description if you want to go and get this book. And that's it for this week, this month, for the book review. And I'll see you next time. Cheers for now. Bye bye.